Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, July 13th, around 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. The fourth day of the eruption at Iceland is looking spectacular. Albeit slightly reduced from the initial eruption, we still have large amounts of magma flowing out from one main fissure. So there's that. But we also have Death Valley could approach 130 Fahrenheit as heat intensifies over the southwest. Keep calm. It's boom time. Now, we shut the audio off from the fake eruption. It's a real eruption, but the audio is fake. It's been pre-recorded in 2022, so who knew? Now you do. Oklahoma, severe storms could bring 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Flooding risk to Oklahoma later Thursday night, so heads up there. Death Valley could approach 130 Fahrenheit as heat intensifies over the southwest. This is not going to be anywhere near the record high. In fact, the record high in Death Valley was 134 degrees back on July 10th of 1913. Holy macaroni. Tennis ball size hail, a key risk of severe storms to hit a large part of Colorado. So heads up if you're in that region. Severe thunderstorm warning for Belmont, Ohio, Marshall, and Jefferson counties. Heads up, West Virginia. The National Weather Service out of Pittsburgh has issued severe thunderstorm warnings for Belmont, Jefferson, Marshall, and Ohio County Thursday evening. So if you're in those regions, take heed. Severe thunderstorm warnings also issued for Dauphin, Lebanon, and Lancaster counties in my old stomping ground. Heads up, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Dauphin, Lancaster, and Lebanon counties until 8:30 p.m. Wind gusts of 60 miles per hour, quarter-size hail are possible. So hopefully you'll stay out of the muck. Now, according to the AP, Vermont braces for more rain in the wake of historic flooding. This flooding hasn't been seen for over 100 years, which probably means it's not your fault. Hello. El Nino essentially a slam dunk to persist through winter. What does that mean? Well, it means we are going to be in El Nino all the way through the spring. Ding, ding, ding. And that means heavy snow for the Four Corners region and an increased, it's going to be an increased monsoon, and that's a boom. Severe storms threaten the plains on Friday with damaging winds and large hail. Let's take a look at the full forecast. Flood risks, oppressive heat, and severe storms. That's the norm. Excessive rainfall is expected across New England again. Holy macaroni. And in portions of the lower Mississippi Valley as well. Thunderstorms capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and a couple of tornadoes are possible for the interior Northeast and upper Ohio Valley. Say it ain't Sally. Excessive heat advisories and warnings continue from California to the southeast like a beast. Take a look at those pink and peach areas. It's going to be a little toasty in those regions. So hopefully your air conditioners are working. And they're not twerking. Seismic update. There is a big quake of note up here in the middle of nowhere. 5.2 in New Siberian Island in Shasha, Russia. Heads up, things are afoot. The most recent quake, a 3.2 out of Mena, Nevada, is normal activity. No other quakes of note. We did have some enhanced activity here on the Northeast Pacific Rise, which could lead to pressure here near Costa Rica. So my prediction is for a quake near Costa Rica in the next 24 to 48 hours of powers. Living near the fire or the funeral pyre, however you want to say it, 500 million people worldwide have active volcanoes as neighbors. Holy macaroni. The thought of living near an active volcano probably sounds like an unimaginable risk to you. And rightly so. An active volcano is never safe and can turn a forested hillside into a lifeless wasteland in a matter of seconds. Volcanoes threaten people's lives and property. So why do they live near them? Well, it's anyone's guess. 500 million people worldwide live and work under the shadow of active volcanoes. And they all deserve the Darwin Award. As a geologist who's studied many volcanoes over the years, I've come to realize it's naive to ask, why don't those people just move to less risky places? Well, many of them can't, and many of them don't have the wherewithal to understand the risk. So our thoughts and our prayers go out to those who don't understand their self-immolation is imminent. Reykjanes volcano update. The eruption continues without significant changes, albeit it's been pumping out massive amounts of lava and toxic gases, which have led to the shutdown of the tourist attraction. Just hours ago, Iceland officials shut down all activity at the volcano and the new eruption because some idiots were getting a little too close to their demise. They were walking up on the edge of this cinder cone. How stupid do you have to be? Well, we've seen some Darwin Awards, so there is that. No one was immolated by the lava. Look, take a look at these lava bombs shooting out of there. If a 30-pound lava chunk that weighs 3,000 pounds hits you in the head, your head would melt. Yes, so good news. The authorities shut down the idiots from getting too close. Now, because of the pressures in the country of Iceland, they will probably reopen this area and people will die. That is my opinion. As we get more eruptions more frequently, more people looking for clicks on the dumb box, especially the TikTok, well, we can expect to have people get eliminated. Here's the Reykjanes Peninsula earthquakes over the last 48 hours. Slight uptick in activity in multiple locations on the peninsula, not all just at the eruption site here. They are, in fact, in other regions, so we're keeping a close eye on that. Here's the 3D beneath the eruption from the most recent activity at the volcano, and you can see there is not much activity happening, and all of it's happening just at about 4 kilometers. Where can I get that data set? Right over here. Where is that? Right there. So all these eruptions are happening just around below 4.5 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. So this could be the end of the eruption, if not the beginning of the next one. Volcanic tremor has been increasing over the last 12 hours in most sites near the eruption. So that means that we could be seeing more eruptive fissures emerging in the coming days. Now, this is volcanic activity worldwide today. We have Fuego, Popo, Marapi, as well as Reykjanes and Reventador. And take a look at this. This is the information coming out. Icelandic authorities have closed the access to the eruption area, partially because dangerous levels of gas are measured, and partially because some idiots who tried to get very close to the vents, putting themselves in avoidable, unreasonably risky accidental situations. And those are the situations in Iceland. Space weather news update. We're over here at Solarham, where we can see we just did have quite an impulsive M2.1 solar flare happening moments ago, and it did unleash a solar flare, and we'll get to that right here. Boom! It's heading away from us, which is good news. That is not going to be affecting Earth, but there are some geomagnetic storms forecast, and we could get to G1 geomagnetic storm according to the detailed forecast here showing KP5 sometime between July 4th and the 15th. Tomorrow night through Friday night through Saturday morning. Yeah, that's when we'll be expecting maybe some amazing auroras tomorrow night. So we'll be covering that on the show as the telemetry develops. There is no long-term forecast for any other geomagnetic activity. The sunspot numbers had surged in recent days, but that doesn't mean that anything significant is happening with the sunspot cycle. The smooth numbers are still not above solar cycle 24 levels. The actual count in a single day have been above solar cycle 24 levels, but they have not smoothed out to anything more excessive than the same cycle as solar cycle 24. We did have a peak, and the prediction now from Zarkova may be coming true, where it will be similar to this cycle here, cycle 21, which peaked early, albeit this one is now 100% weaker than solar cycle 21, and it will drop off rapidly. So that may happen in the next 12 months, and we won't know until that happens, which will be the same time solar cycle 24 peaked in just about 3 or 4 months from now. If we get a peak up here at 120, 130 smoothed, and then it drops back down, well, we are in for some bad times ahead, folks. Trust me on that one. Here is the current telemetry coming from Discover Solar Wind, and we can see that about 6 hours ago, the BZ started to shift quite spectacularly. That brought the KP up to 4, but the density is moderating, and the solar wind speed is barely getting above 350. It is moving upwards, but we shouldn't see a spike until maybe 500, 600 kilometers per second until tomorrow night, 24 hours from now. So stay tuned for more updates on the solar cycle and the solar storm expected to hit in just 24 hours. Outstandingly remarkable, rarely visited lava mound is one of Oregon's most hidden gems. And how do you not know about it? While undeveloped, this lava flow is one of the most significant areas in Oregon. Anyone interested in visiting the site is reminded that there are no restrooms, and it's, well, just a bunch of lava. But it's pretty freaking awesome. Take a look at this. The upper surface of the lava flow is very blocky with numerous open spaces. You can see how some of the different biology is moving along the flow. This flow occurred on the flanks of Mount Hood, but is not actually associated with the mountain itself. This is a separate vent that is not Mount Hood itself. And it probably occurred around the same time as Crater Lake was formed. That's about 6,000 or 7,000, maybe 8,000 years ago. I don't have the numbers. But the geologic history of the area is interesting. The lava flow, which vented from fissures at the ground near the base of Mount Hood, is believed to have occurred at roughly the same time as the eruption of Mount Mazama. I think that's 6,900 years ago, or 6,900 BC. It's one of the two. It created Crater Lake Caldera, which is one of the largest crater lakes on Earth. Top 10. And so this is an amazing feature in Oregon that many people don't know about or care about. And they're just constantly running up and down roads, going to their job. And it doesn't make any sense. Why aren't you tuned in to what's actually happening around you? Oh, you've been distracted by the mainstream media and the lies perpetrated on you your entire life. And you don't understand that you're a slave. Well, if you want to understand the slavery and that is still going on in the world, please, I implore you to go watch Sound of Freedom. You don't have to have any money. At this point, at this moment of this podcast, there has been almost $500 million donated to free tickets. There are 4,928,000 free tickets available for you to go see the show if you can't afford it. This is how important the world thinks this video is that you need to see. This movie. And you need to see it in the theater, not at home. That's how important it is. Because the sound, the way it's presented, the direction, it's important that you see it in the theater. So if you can't buy tickets, if you can't pay it forward, you can claim one of the 5 million free tickets. And this has been exploding over the last 24 hours. It went from 2 to 5 million tickets. I think this will go to 10 million tickets in the next 2 days. So if you need to see the video or if you can't afford it, take your whole family Can you imagine 6 or 7 of you going there for free? That's $150 just in the tickets. You can smuggle in your own popcorn or whatever. Hello. Sound of Freedom. Angel Studios. See it now. And that's a boom to knowledge. I won't say anything else. I don't want to be a spoiler. The movie is so important to our future that if you don't watch it, you don't care about your future. And that's a boom. Please share this video as we are shadow banned because the powers that be don't want you to watch that video or our video as well. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And you can become a Patreon and watch everything we produce commercial free. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.